Hi, friends. Hi, everybody. Welcome and thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Tshego in short, and I create content centered around the authentic self, personal development and growth, and overall well being. And in today's topic, I want to talk about perfectionism. So, as usual, I'm going to be looking down because I've got notes dodged in my notepad for reflection. So, I want to talk about how perfectionism or being perfect might be a goal to many. I mean, like in its truest sense, and it's in a positive perspective, in a very positive perspective or light. Perfectionism, it's a good thing, right? But I have learned that it can become your biggest enemy. Perfectionism can eat so much of our time because of the fear of starting, of launching, of wanting to move in a different direction, of wanting to start a different journey, of wanting to learn a particular skill, of wanting to make new friends, of wanting to change jobs, of wanting to submit that assignment, of wanting to go back to school. But we always have a banner of perfectionism. For an example, creating this content, I'm sure I'm going to be striving for the perfect, perfect version of this particular video, right? And sometimes that can actually cause a delay because maybe my pitch or the way that we think of how we would want to present ourselves, we give ourselves a very high bar, or we set a very high bar for ourselves that we never ever even have a chance to actually do that is it that we want to do or submit what we want to do. As I reflect and talk about this topic, there was a time last year around this time. It was the winter season. I had conducted research, thought about the topic that I want to talk about, and I thought, this is a perfect topic that I want to talk about and share with friends and engage friends on last year. And I was actually wearing this very same jersey that I'm wearing. But guess what? It never saw the day of light. I never shared that information. I never shared that content. And all this time, I took my time in creating that. And even when I had finished of creating that content, I had considered it to be perfect, but I wasted time. Did I shoot it at the right time? Was the lighting perfect? Was my makeup perfect? Was my hair perfect? Was my English proper? All of these nitty-gritties that we worry ourselves about that are not really at time that important, but the importance actually to produce something of good quality. Sometimes perfectionism can eat away the most important and crucial time of our life and the things that we want to do. So be careful of what we consider to be perfect. Be careful of that particular measurement that we're using. Are we using society's measurement of perfectionism? Why are we setting ourselves on a very high bar? Believe you me, all of us want to produce something that is of great value. But why the art of perfection must be so hard? So hard that sometimes it might feel like we are delaying ourselves in producing the very same thing that you yourself had worked so hard and done your best. So, as if life on itself rather is perfect. While we learn to sail around the stormy seas, the dark period, the uncomfortable terrain, we learn to adjust, we learn to soldier on, we learn to live. And that equates for it not to be perfect. But we use our own definition of perfectionism, not society's, not a definition that comes from the dictionary, to set a tone for ourselves, for us to move forward with life, isn't it? So while we strive at times to, to the standards of society, to the dictionary standard of perfectionism, life is happening around us. You can't store time in the name of perfectionism. Time is moving. And one of the things that I often ponder on, that I fear for myself, is when speaking to people who have matured not only in age, but matured through different seasons, matured through life experiences in different areas of life. I ask them, what is the biggest thing, if you had to reflect upon life, or the biggest area that you fear the most, which I fear? And they talk about regret. And sometimes being perfect can lead us to regret as we reflect. So be careful of how you confirm your standard of perfectionism, of wanting to submit that assignment, of wanting to create new relationships, of wanting to start a new job, of wanting to work on that dissertation, of wanting to learn a skill, of wanting this, on wanting to create this, on wanting to just move life. Be careful of your measurement, because sometimes that can lead to us delaying what could have been a great product, or the greatest time of our life. Of perhaps wanting to travel, we delay. And I'm not even considering about maybe the financial circumstances or any other season that you might find yourself at that point in time. But we might have the privilege of time and planning on our side. But at some point, certain things need to launch, or certain time frames need to be put for us to see where we are going. But with perfectionism at the back of our head, some of our goals are never met. And as long as we have a high standard or high measurement, we might not even reach some of the things that we want to achieve by a particular period in our life. So be careful of that. As you navigate your life, consider yourself as a person, as a being, having a human experience in a short time frame in life. So be careful when you put things off in the name of perfectionism, right? Because I don't think there'll ever be a time where the stars will align, or the moon and the sun will align, and the universe will show you that this is the perfect time to start something. But you have to think about when to do it. Sometimes perfectionism makes us fail ourselves, fail who we are, and the journeys that we want to take, or the things that we desire ourselves. Because maybe we don't fit, and I'm not perfect, I'm not made up for that. And in that manner, perfectionism can be looked at through negative lenses. If you have a high measurement of perfectionism, let it be through a positive manner, or positive essence, not through negativity. No, whereas it doesn't urge you to progress in life. No. I'm also guilty of that. As much as I'm talking about this particular topic of perfectionism, I created this particular content right now, or this video, to actually talk to myself through you, and engage you, and talk to you through this video. if I make sense, you know? Um, so there'll never be a perfect time, because a perfect time is either there or not here at times. So you have to put the wheels in motion so that you don't regret wishing upon what could have been, what you could have achieved, what you could have said, what you could have done, right? I'm like a typical example. You got a new job, you go into a different organization, a new organization, and you have to learn all of, most of their policies that is aligned to your job for you to do your job. But you've never created maybe a document. You might have created some as a particular document in the line of work, or presented something, or done something in that line of work, but because you've never had the experience to work in that company, but as part of your performance, you have to deliver or produce something. You need to start either way. And it is through that first encounter, the first experience, that you will learn how things are done. So having to dwell on the perfectionism, you might never start or might never deliver, right? So welcome positive and negative criticism, but start and stop dwelling on perfectionism, right? So there's a motivational speaker whom I love so much, Eddie Pinero. He's my him and Joel, having to go into biblical restoration in the aspect of Joel, and also any Pinero on life experiences and motivation. Those are almost my daily. Actually, those are my daily devotion. Not almost. Those are my daily devotion. So he speaks about, and he makes a distinction of the thinker and the doer, or the thinker, the doer slash the creator. And he says that the thinker ponders and studies, thinking that they'll create a perfect jump off, and often perhaps creating scenarios of his own, of her own, what will be the possible responses or answers, but never launches off, or never takes off, or never do, or never creates. And time just flies through while he see others doing it, and he wishes that he could have started when others, he wishes he could have started while looking at others do it, but he never does. The doer goes out. The doer does it. The doers create. Regardless, like the doer just decide that I'm going to take the risk. Yes, they will laugh at me. I might not get the most positive response. I might get one like through the social media streets. But I'm going to do it anyway, because it's the burning desire that I hold in my heart. It's something that I want to do. I'm going to submit that dissertation. I'm going to enroll for that qualification. I'm going to apply for the job. I'm going to travel. I'm going to meet new friends. But the doer does it. And despite what people will say, they do it anyway. He further says that greatness is forged through repetition. So through you doing that same thing over and over and over and over and over, that's where you reach greatness. The very same greatness can be measured through the lens of perfectionism in this regard. So what? At first, it might be terrible, but at least you started anyway. So you might be also lost, but that's the knowledge that you need in order for you to take upon your journey. So give yourself grace, friends. Give yourself love. Give yourself the gift of progress and momentum, and just start. Transform, develop, evolve. And I want you to consider the following pointers as you ponder upon this particular content in this video. Have the courage. Take the leap of faith. Build on what's already existing out there and just do it. And you will soon realize that you'll be able to navigate through it all. But the challenge is to start. So I bought this little note motivation that says, let's do it. And time and again, when I'm stuck in the whole red race and trying to figure life out, I sometimes ponder and remember why I actually bought that, to tell myself, to remind myself that I can do it, let's do it. So please take away all that societal definition of what perfectionism is and the greatest high of measurement of perfectionism, and create your own understanding and realization of perfectionism. But start. I hope this video was informative, and therefore it will propel you to engage further. And also start. Kindly like and subscribe. Until next time, take care and just start.